case you're looking for a sound explanation for why I did this, there's literally none. I just sat down on 8th August 2025 and watched every single Halloween movie with no intended breaks. Intended being the key word here because I did have to take 2 breaks for chores, which makes this marathon go from the initial 22-hour length to 24 and a half hours. I've done this before with the Saw franchise in 2023 and the Friday the 13th franchise in 2024, but this was easily the longest one yet. I didn't really care for the franchise going in. I had already seen the first Halloween, Season of the Witch, and the Rob Zombie duology, and I didn't care for Michael Myers or Jamie or Laurie or the entire Haddonfield lore that much, and after 24 hours I can say that that's kind of changed. I do have a somewhat positive opinion on this franchise, as positive as I can be about a 13 film franchise based on just a guy who kills people. No, like literally there was no material for even a single sequel that they could get from the first film, and they somehow got 12 sequels out of it. Anyways, here's my thoughts on every single Halloween film, and keep in mind these thoughts are heavily altered by the fact that I saw all these in one day. I would probably dislike the bad ones less and like the good ones more if I didn't watch them in this wretched fashion, but what can you do? At 5 a.m., after a night of not sleeping, mind you, I put on John Carpenter's classic Halloween. I've seen this film twice before and I kind of always have the same experience. It's a very fun, atmospheric, and well-directed film, but when you play it next to Carpenter's other films like The Thing, or Christine, or They Live, or In the Mouth of Madness, or even Prince of Darkness, it doesn't really match up to them. The score is iconic, the kills are really good, and the film, even when it's in broad daylight, has this eerie atmosphere that barely any other film in the franchise has been able to replicate, although they tried their best. But I just don't connect it in a way that, it can go up to a 9 or a 10, so I'm gonna give Halloween an 8 out of 10 and move on. I think it's a great film. I just don't think it's like one of the best horror movies ever made, or whatever. At 6:33, I started Halloween 2. I was excited to see how they follow up on the original, and by this point I was already a little sleepy, but I had already embarked on this odyssey and nothing could stop me. I honestly really like Halloween 2. You can feel Carpenter's absence, but they do their best and the kills are super memorable, especially the nurse who gets boiled to death, which is genuinely hilarious because why is a hot tub inside a hospital built with the capacity to fucking burn people's skin off in like less than 10 seconds? Speaking of hilarity, I lost my mind at the opening where a guy in a Michael Myers mask gets blown up and the cops believe that it was Michael Myers, and a solid portion of the film is then spent on them thinking Michael Myers is dead because they have no way of identifying the dead body because it got blown up. But yeah, it's a good time and it flies by. It's a solid 7 out of 10. At 8 a.m. I started Season of the Witch, but I fell asleep 10 minutes in and woke up at the very ending, which technically means I did not watch all Halloween films in one day, but give me a break. I was on zero sleep, and it'd be worse if I slept during a film I hadn't seen, but I have literally seen this film before, so it's okay, let me be. There's not a lot to say about this film because it's the only Halloween film that has nothing to do with Myers or Loomis or Laurie or any of that other Halloween lore. You see, the original plan for the Halloween franchise was to just use the name Halloween but have every film be a different story, almost like an anthology series. But this is the only film that committed to that before they went back to Myers and all that shit. But as it is, this is a fun enough goofy little flick that I'd honestly recommend, but don't go in expecting anything Halloween or Myers related. It's a low 7 out of 10. After getting a solid 90 minutes of sleep, I was up and running for Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers, which I started at 9:41 a.m. This one set a decade after the first two, where Myers gets out of a coma to kill Laurie's daughter Jamie. This film is mostly alright. I don't really hate it like most people do, but it's kind of forgettable. Like, looking back at all these films, I think this is the one that I can, remember stuff the least from. Like, the ending with Jamie being infected by the evil and having the call back to the opening of the first film is very cool. And there's some decent kills in here too, but I don't know, overall this is just kind of in the middle of the road, not very bad, not very good, just a very okay, high 5 out of 10 film. At 11:20, I started Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers. I know some people worship the original so much that they don't even like the sequel, and then the Myers fanatics and people who hate fun don't like Season of the Witch, and then 4 is just very much disliked as well. But I think 5 is the first truly bad film in the franchise, and that's because it's the only one that doesn't even try, doesn't even remotely try to bring anything new to the table, because like 1 is obviously the original, 2 has the novelty of being the first sequel, 3 is obviously its own thing, and 4 has the introduction of Jamie as well as the 10-year time jump. But this film is literally just a retread of 4 with none of the fun stuff. Now, if you've seen Halloween movies, you know they end with Myers being killed in the most insane of ways and still coming back, and 4 ends with him being blown up, and then 5 actually starts with him escaping that explosion and being nursed back to health by a hermit who finds his body. Yeah, and then he returns to Haddonfield, and the rest of the film is him like tracking down Jamie and trying to kill her. Like I said, it's a retread of 4, but there's like 0 good kills, and it ends with Myers getting arrested and then escaping, and then the cult shows up because Halloween 6 needs to happen. And yeah, I just 3 out of 10. This one's not good. After how bad 5 was and how lame the setup to 6 was, I made an executive decision to take a break from this Jamie saga and watch age 20 before I got to 6, because there were different timelines and it wouldn't matter if I watched age 20 before I watched 6. I had some chores to do, so this started at 2:12 p.m. and this is probably the most empty Halloween film. Like, it's not atrocious or unwatchable or even close to being the worst one, but literally nothing happens for most of this film's runtime. It's clearly not scary because the only jump scares I got were Joseph Gordon-Levitt showing in the opening scene and then LL Cool J showing up later. The opening is cool, I guess, and the concept of a legacy sequel in 1998 is interesting because these things didn't really exist back then, but there's not much going on here for me to really, sink my teeth into. And this also has like one of the worst titles for a film. Remember, what the fuck is a Halloween age 20 years later? That is a atrocious name for a film. But yeah, 4 out of 10. After some more chores, it was time to get back into the end of the Jamie saga with Halloween 6: The Curse of Michael Myers, which started at 4:41 p.m. By this time, I was getting kind of a headache, and I wasn't really looking forward to this film after the 5th one, but I was kind of surprised at the start because this one starts really well. It's interesting because this film is kind of well made at points, but it's also called mumbo jumbo nonsense. This one starts with Jamie giving birth as a 15-year-old, and honestly, the first third of this film is so atmospheric and well directed that I was genuinely surprised. And then, like I said, cult mumbo jumbo, all the supernatural stuff with the cult and the ending, it's mind-numbing to sit through, and after some time I just stopped caring about any of it. The stakes, everything they set up, it just means nothing to me. And I think the first act and the start of the film is very well done, but after that it takes a nosedive in quality and I do not care for the rest of it. But I still am going to give it a 4 out of 10 because of how well it starts. At 6:30, I sat down for Halloween Resurrection, and oh, what a rotten film. The concept is not bad, where the Myers house is turned into this fabled attraction where a lot of people go to spend the night, and it's all televised like those crappy ghost hunting shows from the 2000s, only for Michael Myers to actually show up and kill them all. However, this concept is executed so poorly. All the characters are boring and annoying, and the film is just so dull. Busta Rhymes is the main character, and he's not very good.
Trick or treat, motherfucker!
The film ends with him drop kicking Michael Myers into electricity and just like calling him a motherfucker like twice.
Burn, motherfucker!
It's so stupid. The kills are boring. The found footage stuff is so badly integrated, and yeah, this is unpleasant. 2 out of 10. At 8 p.m. I started Rob Zombie's Halloween remake, which I had seen before, and my god, after 4 bad films in a row, this felt like I was watching Citizen Kane. Now, I've always somewhat liked the film. Zombie is the best director after John Carpenter to helm a Halloween film, and while I have a lot of issues with the film, I still think it's good. Right off the bat, I prefer Myers' childhood to be a mystery. I like that he's evil because he's evil, not because his dad was abusive or he got bullied and shit. I think these type of backstories for villains mostly suck, and I don't really like them. However, that origin story is still masterfully directed, and I love the grainy, grimy, and downright ugly look of the film. The second half is much better as it jumps to modern day, and it's kind of a scene-by-scene remake of the original. What makes it different and more interesting than most remakes is that despite following Carpenter's narrative, it could be not more different stylistically. Gone is the atmospheric and smooth filmmaking of Carpenter. This is rough, loud, shaky cam overload, and it really works. I have some inherent disagreements with this film's portrayal of Michael Myers, but it is really good. High 7 out of 10. At 10:07 p.m. I rewatched Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one. And if you thought me not loving the original that much, or me, liking 4 was an unpopular opinion, you might lose your mind at this, because I think Halloween 2 is not only the best Halloween film, but it is also a perfect film and one of my favorite films of all time. Let me explain. Trauma is probably the theme horror films have explored the most, but I don't think any horror film has presented it so effectively. Obviously, I can speak to the accuracy of it, but in terms of filmmaking, very few films have made me feel the panic, despair, and utter suffocation felt by a character like this does. Not only does Taylor Compton give one of the most underrated and real performances in the genre's history, but the smorgasbord of visions, relentless but not overly gratuitous violence, grainy and shaky filmmaking that comes like second nature to Mr. Robert Zombie elevates this film so much. The dream sequences are so beautiful. It genuinely is so reminiscent of Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, which is another one of my favorite films. And there's just so many perfect scenes, man. The opening in the hospital, the truck driver's death, Loomis being confronted about how he's monetized the town's trauma, Laurie realizing who she really is. It has probably the most visceral reaction to a death ever put to film. And then the ending in the barn, it is just a perfect film, and I will die on this hill. Riding the high of Halloween 2, I strapped in for the final 3 films, the David Gordon Green trilogy. I had never seen any of these films, but I had heard mixed opinions on them, and I was cautious going in. So at 12:07, the clock hit midnight. I was getting sleepy, and I had to take a Panadol because my head was hurting, but I hit play on Halloween 2018. And firstly, before I talk about the film, it's hilarious that this is the 3rd film in the franchise to be called Halloween, and secondly, this is Deadass Age 20. They remade a legacy sequel because this has the same exact concept as Age 20, and it's kind of just as bad. This film has what I call the Dark Knight effect, where after that movie came out, it started this culture of self-seriousness in these IP films. So many of these franchise reboots or remakes or revamps have just this super self-serious drama aesthetic. Nothing could be goofy or vibrant anymore. Obviously, I'm not blaming the Dark Knight. That film is fantastic, and what it did for the character of Batman and blockbuster filmmaking is incredible, and I love Christopher Nolan. It's just this entire culture did start because of the Dark Knight, but it's this film is just, this is so boring. It's too scared to be goofy because of the reception of the sequels, and it's too scared of being stylistic or edgy because of the zombie films. So we're left with a film that's scared to take any risk, a film that has zero visual identity, a film that plays its cards so safe that it makes me almost miss the Jamie saga. Almost. 4 out of 10. Maybe I was just sleepy and grumpy because people like this film a lot, but I genuinely did not have a good time with this. At 1:51, I started Halloween Kills, and after the previous one, I had no expectations, but I kind of love this. No, seriously, I love this film. I just really like that it's a strange hybrid of Halloween 2 from 1981, John Wick 3, and The Dark Knight Rises. Make of that what you will, but Myers stepping out of the burning building and laying waste to the firefighters is such an incredible opening. All the Kinsel altercations are so much fun. The entire town teaming up to take down Michael Myers and then slowly becoming what it feared is so well done, and the ending made me genuinely get up into a standing ovation, which very well could be a reflection of how it was nearly 4 a.m. and I was losing my mind. But from what I remember, I absolutely had a blast with this, and I really dig this film. Strong 8 out of 10. At 3:35 a.m., I had a headache, I was sleepy, I took my second Panadol, but I only had one film left, so I hit play on the final film in the trilogy, and probably the final Halloween film for a long time. Halloween Ends. And it fucking sucks. I do not understand how you end Kills with a powerful scene, and then spend an hour of the final film on fucking Corey Cunningham, man. No, like, actually, if you haven't seen this film, it's about a babysitter, Corey Cunningham, who accidentally kills a kid, and he's villainized so much that he teams up with Laurie's niece and they start killing people. And then Michael Myers returns and they join forces and they all go on a killing spree before Laurie intervenes, obviously, and she kills Myers for good. No, really, these films have so many fake Michael Myers deaths that this time they actually slit his wrists, slit his throat. The entire town gathers as they throw him into a meat grinder, and the town watches him be turned into paste. It is hilarious, and I get what Green was going for, and I think there's some good moments here, and Ron Campbell is exceptional as Corey, but really, I did not watch the final Halloween film, the final film in the franchise, a film that, you know, is coming after, in my opinion, one of the best Halloween films in Halloween Kills, just to see an hour of nothing, and then, you know, everything is being thrown together at the end. It was just very lazy, very muddled, very messy. It is a lame and sad ending to a iconic franchise, and I'm not really clamoring for them to make another film to fix it. I just leave it as it is. There's already way too many movies and continuities and timelines and remakes in this franchise, Jesus Christ. But yeah, 4 out of 10. I wish this franchise had a better ending. And that's pretty much what I thought about every single Halloween film in 1978 all the way up until 2022. In these 44 years, this franchise has had, you know, ups and downs as we discussed. But like I said in the opening, coming out of it, I definitely like the franchise more than I did going in. That also has to do with the fact that I saw some films in the franchise that were good that I hadn't seen before. But I think just that experience of spending 24 hours with, you know, all these characters in this world was just like, it was a very unique experience. And I feel like, I don't know, I like Michael Myers coming out of it. Like literally I was I have like these figures of Freddy Krueger and Leatherface and Hellraiser, and I was thinking of adding a new one. And for some reason, my plan was to get Ash from the Evil Dead, but Michael Myers kept popping into my head, which is crazy because a few months ago, or even like literally a day before I did the marathon, I would have never wanted to get like a Halloween figure, Michael Myers figure. But yeah, I just had a really good time, even though a lot of these movies were not good. This is my ranking for all these films. I hope I have justified some of the odd placements on this. If not, then I don't know what to tell you. And if you're confused about why I watched these on 8th August and then like this video came out so late, it's because I started making a film after this marathon. Yes, along with my friends, I wrote and directed a film. All of us worked on it together. It was written by two people, directed by two people. We did everything together. That film is about to come out, so obviously that took a lot of time. And then I also got into a relationship, which has been pretty great. So yeah, both of those things are pretty major. That's why this video was kind of on the back burner. But I hope, I mean, I still don't, like, I'm literally recording the outro. I have no idea when it's going to be out. I just do know that I recorded all of it the day after I did the marathon, except this outro. I'm recording this outro nearly a month after the initial recording. But anyways, I'm going to be dropping another video next month, hopefully. I'm really excited for that. I have a schedule up until December, and I hope I am consistent in that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any unique thoughts or takes or opinions about the Halloween franchise, please let me know down below. And that is it.